Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another video, rolling right along in the Hasbro Marvel Legends series Retro Spider-Man wave. Third up is Gwen Stacy slash Maryjane, but really it's odd. I mean, it's cool that we get a new Maryjane head, but it's definitely not going to work with that outfit because she didn't wear that in the comics or anything. So, of course, I will be testing out that Maryjane head on the Maryjane figure that was in the Toys R Us exclusive 2-pack with the all-new, all-different Spider-Man. But I will put it on that body so we could see what it looks like, just because that's kind of the option that's there, because I know a lot of collectors don't actually have this Maryjane figure, unfortunately. You know, Toys R Us exclusives, it's kind of hit or miss. It was kind of there for a short time and then kind of dried up. So one of those things. But anyway, we get the awesome card back of the throwback to the Spider-Man, the animated series. Gwen Stacy there, and it shows textbook accessories. So she has a Daily Bugle newspaper, she has a Midtown High School book, and then it looks like she has a little bag or binder type of thing. Reminds me of a Trapper Keeper or something. Looking at the back of the package, we have all the figures in the wave. You can see she has an interchangeable head. The bio reads, Gwen Stacy, a bright student with a keen scientific mind. Gwen Stacy is girlfriend to Peter Parker. Wow, that's her bio. Girlfriend to Peter Parker. Anyway, let's open it up. Okay, and here is the Gwen Stacy figure out of the package, and really not a whole lot going for it. The accessories are cool, but really she can only hold the Daily Bugle rolled up newspaper. She can't really hold the file holder or binder, because it just kind of has to sit in there with the way this open hand is that we typically get with most female figures. And then the Midtown High School book, there's just no way that she's going to be able to hold that thing. So they're cool, don't get me wrong. It's just it's tough when you have a figure that can't even hold the accessories that she comes with. And then we have the Maryjane head. So first let's take a look at those accessories, the Maryjane head. Then we'll take a better look at Gwen Stacy. Okay, so the Daily Bugle rolled up newspaper looks pretty good. So we get the Daily Bugle headline there, the title, and then you can see that it's rolled up. The sculpt of it is quite nice. It really does look like a rolled up newspaper, but you don't see any print or lettering throughout, but I think that is actually really cool and looks good. The file holder or whatever, it's kind of what that is, not really a Trapper Keeper, although it kind of looks like one. It's just done in this blue plastic, not a whole lot going to it. The sculpt of it does look really good, really nice actually, because you can see inside there's where you kind of have the accordion file where it kind of expands out, so that looks really good. And then the book, there's really nothing to it, just says Midtown High School. You can see it's just done in this dark red plastic, and the pages aren't even a different color, just all red. But it is what it is. It's good, nice little accessory to have. You can just put it on a table somewhere and it'll make a nice addition to some kind of photo setup. The Maryjane head looks pretty good. We actually get this nice wash throughout in the red, so to give it kind of some textured look. So that came out looking really nice. Paint apps are done quite nice as well, so we'll actually swap this onto the Gwen Stacy here in a minute, but let's take a closer look at her. Okay, so here's a closer look at Gwen Stacy. Now, for a civilian figure, there's a lot of awesome things to this. So first, we get a new coat. So, you know, Photon, what's her name? Elsa Bloodstone. They reuse the Scarlet Witch jacket or whatever. So here, this Gwen Stacy, excuse me, this is a new jacket. It's just done in green. This is her classic comic look. And it's done very nicely. We get this floating belt that's painted in brown. The paint apps are pretty nice on it. That just looks really good. It's just all kind of smooth, whereas that Scarlet Witch one was a little bit textured. You know, we get the sculpted on buttons there, but it looks really good. Another thing is her sweater or shirt that she's wearing is textured. So I really like when they do that, because, you know, a lot of the smooth look, it works for a lot of things. You know, we got the Maryjane figure and she just has that black smooth tank top shirt, sleeveless shirt on. But when you get the added texture to it, really helps stand out, makes it look a little bit more realistic. So I really like that they got that. Then we got the purple skirt. She didn't really get boots, she just got painted legs, but that works well enough. And then she has heels, so it can be difficult to get her to stand when doing certain things, but if you're just going to vanilla pose, you know, it's not so bad. While I can't, and I'm standing her up right now, I say that, of course, that's how it always works. But looking at the head sculpt, it's done quite nice. I think, if anything, maybe her eyes are a little too far apart, but that's just getting real nitpicky. Paint apps are done nicely. You get that pink for the lipstick. The paint around the eyes look pretty good. You do get eyebrows, even though her bangs kind of cover it. You see that they still did put them on there, and it looks really good. The hair is just done in yellow. There is no wash to it, and we get the black headband going in there. So Gwen Stacy, that figure I think looks really, really good. So we're gonna pop the head off though, and we're gonna stick on the Maryjane head to see how that is, and it works well. It's just not the Maryjane look, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of weird. So let's zoom out and take a look at the articulation, and then you can see how Maryjane looks. So when zooming out, you take a look at Maryjane. It's not bad, it works, it just doesn't really work for Maryjane. This is a Gwen Stacy look, so I'm gonna pop that Maryjane. Actually, before I get to that, I know a lot of people are probably gonna ask. I did pull out the Spider-Gwen figure. I didn't get the Gwen head that came with it. It definitely will not go on this body. As you can see, the ball peg, how large it is compared to the Spider-Gwen. This isn't really gonna work, but you can kind of rest it on there to get an idea, I guess, if that's something that you wanted to do. And it could work. If anything, it does look a little bit large since this Spider-Gwen figure is compared. It is much smaller. So, I mean, you can fudge it if that's something that you really wanted to do. So I know people were going to ask about that. So I wanted to show you guys that right away. Let's pop the Gwen head on there, and then let's actually do the articulation. So you can get the arm, shoulder to go up all the way up, so that is great. You get a full rotation there. No bicep swivel, typical female figure from Hasbro, so we get a single jointed elbow with the swivel at the elbow, so you're going to get a solid 90 degrees, and that's it. Wrists swivel, and they do hinge as well. You have a diaphragm joint in the figure, so you can get her to tilt to one side a little bit, not a whole lot, because the jacket's really going to kind of hinder that. Tilt to the other side. Going forward, you can a little bit. Going back a little bit, but it is kind of tough because, again, that jacket is really going to hinder that going in there. And then you get the swivel at that diaphragm joint as well to get her to turn. So that works well. There is a cut in the skirt on this side, so you can actually get some movement in the legs. So you're only going to get that movement. You can't get the other leg out because there's no cut on that side. It's just the one side. So that's kind of tough. So you're not really going to get a whole lot of movement there. So you can get one leg to go up like so. You can get the other one to go like that. So it hinders, but you know, what's she going to do? She's not going to have a crazy amount of motion anyway. There is an upper thigh cut in there, however, and you do get a double jointed knee. You get the foot that hinges down quite a bit, hinges up quite a bit as well, and then has ankle pivot peg holes at the bottom of the feet. They are small, they are heels, so be careful when trying to get her to stand because it can be tough. As you can see, I can't do it right now. But anyway, let's go on to Maryjane. So we're gonna get the Maryjane figure from the Toys R Us 2-pack. I'm gonna pop that head off, and we're gonna pop this new one on there, and that looks fantastic. That is great. That's a better Maryjane figure in my opinion. This one is still really good, don't get me wrong. I really like what they did with the hair as well, but this one is fantastic. I really like this new one a lot more compared to this one. So there is the Maryjane that everyone wanted to see, and that looks great. Okay, and here is Maryjane, Peter Parker, and Gwen Stacy side by side. And how does Peter do it? I mean, look at him, right? How does he do it? How? But they all look really good together, all jokes aside. We throw in the superposable Spider-Man, and that is just an awesome set of figures to have. Will Hasbro release another Maryjane figure somewhere down the line? Who knows? I think it'd be great if they did and reuse this head sculpt, but then, you know, where would they put it? What would the point be? You know, maybe they do another 2-pack or something. It would be interesting to see, because, you know, not everyone has that Maryjane figure. So for the time being, the Maryjane head on one of these Gwen Stacy bodies, it's a decent substitute. It's not great, but it works. You know, you can fudge it all around. You know, your collection is your collection, how you want it to be. So that definitely is an option for you. And for a quick size comparison, here is the Gwen Stacy and Maryjane figures next to the Marvel Legends Stan Lee. Okay, and to close out the video, I wanted to do a side-by-side comparison of the two Gwen Stacy heads that we actually have. They are alternate universes, whereas this new one is going to be main continuity, and this one is going to be in her own alternate universe, and I can't remember what Earth it is. She is a younger Gwen Stacy as well. You can see the big difference. And then also take a note at the big difference in paint or plastic, I guess, between older figures and newer figures. So you get much shinier plastic in the face versus one that is more matte. It doesn't really show a lot of reflections the same way. So I do really appreciate that as an update to the figures. You know, we talk about, or I talk about action figures quite a bit, you know, but the natural progression of things, that's something that you don't necessarily notice right away until you see something that's side by side and you could see a major difference. So I really do appreciate that and what Hasbro is doing now compared to what they did even just a few short years ago. So big difference. The new one definitely looks a lot better in my opinion. This one wasn't bad. It was good at the time, but you know, this new one definitely does blow it away. But you guys let me know down in the comments below what you think of this Gwen Stacy figure, the Maryjane head, and of the old Gwen Stacy figure. I'm curious. You guys let me know down in the comments below. In the video description, I will include links to pre-order at Amazon and Entertainment Earth for the Gwen Stacy figure. If you guys like the video, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and as always, thank you for watching.